Everything I heard was that this was going to be an insane weekend to travel.
Now at 6, a 20-year record high Memorial travel season underway. Everything you need to know before you head out the door.
After you fired the first shot.
Plus at 6, closing arguments in the double murder trial of a former TikTok influencer set to get underway today. What he said in court about the moment he killed his wife.
I think that's a terrible idea.
I'd be definitely in favor of that.
Mixed opinions here in San Diego over a new state bill to combat speeding. What would it change in new cars?
You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Thank you for joining us here on this Friday on CBS 8. It is 6 a.m. If you're just visiting us, welcome to beautiful San Diego. Yeah, we're glad you're with us. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Nada Iranpour. And I will say, apologize for the clouds. I didn't create them. They're just out there.
Right. It's still America's finest city.
It is.
Right. And you'll find out why here this weekend.
Yeah. So right now, the views, I mean, even though it's gray, I still think this is gorgeous. Hotel Del, of course, Coronado, showing off as it always does. And we are seeing, of course, the cloud coverage, the marine layer. That's what we get in the month of May. It is widespread today, all the way to the mountains. And we're starting to see a little bit of that along the foothills. Breaking apart, just a little bit, not much though. Temperature-wise, this is where we are, in the low 60s for downtown, and where we're headed, not that much warmer. We're going to reach the mid-60s downtown and then the low 70s inland. Mountains will be in the upper 60s and then maybe get to 90 degrees for desert areas. So that's a look at what your afternoon will be like today. Tomorrow, a lot of the same. I'll talk more about your holiday weekend in just a few moments. Let's get now to our top story here. In just a couple of hours, closing statements are set to get underway in the trial of Ali Abulaban.
Abulaban is accused of murdering his wife and her friend at an East Village apartment back in October of 2021. CBS 8's Regina Yarita is live outside the downtown courthouse, and the trial is going to resume there at 9 a.m. here, Regina?
Yeah, that's correct. And closing arguments could start as early as today. But yesterday was Ali Abulaban's third day on the witness stand, with the defense claiming that the killings were a crime of passion. But as testimony continued yesterday, there were some heated exchanges.
Anna put her hands up in the air and screamed, right? For mercy?
She was screaming because she was scared.
And you made the choice to fire another shot.
And so Abulaban took the stand for the third day yesterday. He's charged with killing his wife, Anna, and her friend, Ray Barone, at a high-rise apartment complex in East Village back in October of 2021. In his testimony, Abulaban says he snapped when he saw Anna and her friend together, cuddling on a couch, and that's what led him to shoot both of them. He also testified that he had no intention of killing them. At one point, Abulaban got upset when the prosecution accused him of yelling the word respect while he shot Anna and Barone, something he denied. That's the moment Ali Abulaban, at one point, Ali Abulaban shouted at prosecutors when they alleged that he had searched for pornography involving teenagers on his phone in the weeks leading up to the shooting. Abulaban immediately denied the allegation. Prosecutors also asked him about the call he made to his mom just 4 minutes later after the killings, but waited 12 minutes to call 911. So the defense yesterday called for a mistrial. They believe some of the questions that the prosecution asked were misleading and insinuated things that he didn't do, but the judge denied that request. So back out here, we will be continuing to cover this case. So stick with CBS 8. For now, I'll send things back to you guys.
We're living with this fear hanging over us that this could happen to another family.
This morning, the families of 4 of the 5 Marines killed in an Osprey crash 2 years ago are now suing Boeing, Bell Textron, and Rolls-Royce. This wrongful death lawsuit targets the manufacturers of the Osprey, not the Marine Corps. They say deceptive practices and systemic failures by the manufacturers of the Osprey are to blame for that crash. A military investigation found the cause of the crash was a clutch failure, but the root cause of that failure remains unknown. The plaintiffs are seeking unspecified monetary damages. The manufacturers told CBS 8 they cannot comment on pending litigation. New this morning, a San Diego Police Department officer who was found locked in the back seat of a cruiser with a woman in custody violated department policy and filed a false report. That's according to a department investigation. SDPD says last August, Officer Anthony Hare's body camera recorded him and a woman he was taking to jail exchanging sexually suggestive comments just before Officer Hare turned off the camera and locked himself in the backseat with her. Hare claimed the door locked accidentally when he was checking on the woman's health. SDPD says Hare quit the force less than a month after the incident and refused to cooperate with their investigation. If you'd like to read more about this investigation, you can go to our website, cbs8.com, click on the link to this story. And now, a nearly 20-year record high Memorial Travel Weekend is upon us.
Yeah, here we are. AAA projecting nationwide that 43.8 million travelers will take to the roads or skies over the Memorial Day travel period. CBS 8's Chris Groh live along Interstate 805 with everything we need to know if you plan on going out of town this weekend. The 805 is going to be lit up with lights there pretty much all weekend, right?
Yeah, it definitely is what is projected to be. However, what we're seeing right now is pretty light traffic, which means if you're watching this at home and maybe you were going to leave within the next 3 hours and use the 805 as one of your main thoroughfares, maybe now is a good time to leave because there are going to be so many people that are going to be hitting the roads, whether that's going to be their main mode of transportation or if they're going to be using those freeways to get to the San Diego International Airport, which is also going to be busy. But we've already been out looking at some of the local traffic. Just so you know, we're looking at potentially 3.5 million Southern Californians traveling for Memorial Day. So the best times to leave, the best times to actually be out on the road are going to be today between 12 and 7 p.m. And then on Sunday and Monday, avoid driving between 3 and 7 p.m. As for where people are going to be going, well, a lot of people are going to be coming here. So for many of you, you may be saying, hey, I'm going to enjoy Memorial Day here in my hometown of San Diego. But Las Vegas, the Grand Canyon, Hawaii, and Seattle, as well as Alaska cruises are going to be some of those big destinations. Now, as for what it's going to cost, AAA says that this is probably going to be one of the cheaper times to actually travel than in the past. However, vacationing this year is still 15% more than in pre-pandemic times. So while we're potentially saving money compared to last year, it's still more expensive than what it used to be. In fact, take a look at your screen right now. These are going to be gas prices here in San Diego County. We're talking about $5.12 for a gallon of regular gas. Gas prices are down over time. They've gone down 23 cents over the past 25 days. However, we are still looking at paying well over $5 for just a gallon of regular gas. Now, if you happen to be driving out to Arizona, for instance, though, you may encounter that decision as you get close to that Arizona-California border, whether or not to fill up. Generally speaking, it's always going to be a little bit cheaper on that Arizona side. Eric and Netta.
That's for sure. Thank you for that, Chris. If you are heading out on the roads this weekend, make sure you are doing it safely. California Highway Patrol will begin a statewide maximum enforcement period tonight at 6. This begins, and it's going to continue through Monday night. Last year, 46 people were killed in crashes in California over this holiday weekend. Important to remember, if you see or you suspect an impaired driver, you're asked to pull over and call 911 immediately. And if you're planning on grilling something up this Memorial Day weekend, it is going to cost you more this year. Don't be too shocked. The national average of a pound of ground beef is about 31 cents higher than last year. For 5 burgers on average, it costs $28 just for the meat alone. And for steaks, it's going to cost you over $10 a pound and $4 per pound for pork and chicken. Beer and wine prices are also up. But good news here, it seems that egg prices have dropped from last year. So I'm not sure what that does for your Memorial Day barbecue. Maybe you're a big fan of deviled eggs, or you just are going to be bringing the egg salad to the barbecue. That's a good idea, yes. And you'll be the one smiling because you're like, I brought the cheapest option here.
Yes, I do like scrambled eggs. You can bring a side dish like that.
Maybe it's an early barbecue. Like breakfast burritos.
Yeah, brunches are probably going to be the more affordable way. $28 for 5 burgers.
Yeah, that seems like a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a fancy burger at a fancy restaurant. That's what it sounds like. Good morning to you. It is 6:09. We're looking at overcast skies over Coronado, and what we're going to see throughout the day today will be a lot of clouds. This right here. This is our view from Mount Woodson, looking out towards the west. Can't really see much, I know, but I'm trying to find a camera shot that does show us part of San Diego. At least from the skies, it does look like we're all covered in the clouds from Oceanside, sweeping all the way even into Pine Valley and beyond. So pretty widespread marine layer this morning. And, this was what we were expecting. The area of low pressure way up north is pushing in the onshore flow, kicking it up, and that does create more clouds. It is also going to be a cooler day, certainly cooler than average by about even 10 degrees. 58 right now in Del Mar, 58 Poway, 58 in El Cajon, 62 downtown. So for downtown San Diego, they expect the mid 60s for this afternoon. So if that's where you might be going out later on today, just know that the sun could peek out from maybe about 1 to maybe 4. Those seem to be the prime times, our warmest time of the day where we might see the clouds move along, but it's pretty stubborn all the way into the noon hour, it looks like. 66 will be the high in National City. 68 for our warmer neighborhoods of Santee and El Cajon. That's all you're going to get today. Normally you'd be in the upper 70s. So this is where we stand, mid 60s for a lot of San Diego. And yeah, it does mean that, cooler air is here. Not going to be maybe the San Diego that a lot of people envisioned coming to. But hey, it's going to warm up. And I'll get into that coming up here in just a little bit. Let's talk now about traffic. As you're headed out on the roads, right now is a good time if you do need to get where you want to go. Because, later this afternoon, as Chris warned us, a lot of people will be joining you on our freeways. The 78 westbound between the 15 and the 5, only going to take you 15 minutes right now, 64 mile per hour speeds. So it does not look like major crashes in the way, slowing people down. But there is a crash to get to here. This would be on the 15 northbound. Right at the 94, the eastbound shoulder is blocked due to a crash. There's a little bit of slowing on the 94, it looks like, but doesn't seem to be because of that crash, just more people joining you on the roads. Shoulders blocked on the 805 due to a stalled vehicle. That's the northbound side right at the 54. And now for your border wait times, if we could show you what's going on at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. This might help you out 100 minutes to get through the border there. Otay Mesa Port of Entry, a lot quicker at 60 minutes. Eric?
All right, coming up here, border crisis slightly alleviating. The new numbers that show illegal crossings are down. Plus the new video that captures the moment golfer Scotty Scheffler was arrested.
One of the neighbors contacted me and said, "Oh, is this a joke?"
A Bay Area property now on the market for half the median price. The big catch next.